La 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 la. La 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 la. Yes, good that you're watching later to the stream that we do every Monday here on the React channel. I go over the latest gaming news. I got 3 topics prepared for you today, and then of course those topics will also appear as videos later on the React channel. And I mostly just want to catch up with everyone watching live and have a good time. I already see Pepsi Cola, Samaya, good to see you. Jet Laner, Rusty, thanks everyone for joining as always. We're back, and I can say right now for certain that we will be doing this Monday stream every week again. I'm looking at like my calendar in my head, and I'm like, yeah, I think I will be here every Monday. So that's good news. We got some fun topics to discuss. Hope everyone is doing well. You're the siren. I'll take it. I'll take it. Nighthawk, yeah, it's afternoon here. Good to see you as well. Makamon, good to see you too. Trying to max master on shadows, taking forever. Still only master 68. The max master on shadows. You mean mastery level? So if you like reach the max level, I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed Shadows as well, the new game plus. It's been the perfect put on a podcast or something else. Yesterday I was playing and watching the Barcelona game on the site, which was a lot of fun as well. Hey Alex, good to see you too. Saber Knight. I haven't been playing Hell is Us for 5 hours and my brain is much. I absolutely love this game. Happy to hear that. Yeah, we're going to talk about Hell is Us in a bit as well by going over all the games that are coming out in September. We got the Metacritic actually for Hell is Us. So yeah, but I've been kind of waiting for the games that I want to play. I did buy Gears of War. I do want to spend time with that. But yeah, mostly been... I'm like 74 right now in Shadows. So I was like, I want to get to 80 before the DLC, because then all the items I get in the DLC will be on the max level. That will be fun, but I think I don't have the time, I think, to reach 80. And I was really curious, okay, doing New Game Plus, how far do you get? But I was only 67 when I finished New Game Plus. So you have 13 levels to grind. Luckily, you get all the targets, but still. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's way harder, I think, to get to the max level in Shadows again. I think that with Odyssey, they of course raised the level cap as well, but I felt that was easier to get to. Rise Flopper, thanks for joining as well. Are you more excited for the Shadows or Mirage DLC? I'm gonna say Shadows, but I do think the Mirage DLC might be a lot of fun as well. But I like Shadows more as a game overall, and I think, for example, the Mirage DLC will really be the final content we get for the game. For Shadows, it's just another point in the... probably another year of content that we get, maybe more. So it will be... what we will be doing in that DLC will be nice for whatever it's next. So, yeah, I'm more excited for the Shadows DLC. That's, of course, dropping September 16th. Next week, we get the update, which should be exciting. And that means that on this stream next week... likely at 6 p.m, so an hour and a half after we stream, I will still be live, and we will be going over the patch notes together live. So that should be exciting. Severus, good to see you. Bully, good to see you as well. Sir Keaton, your avatar is discounted a lot on the PlayStation Store. Is it worth it? Well, they are actually going to do a third-person mode later this year. Is it worth it? I finished it. I finished the first DLC as well. It really depends on your love for the Avatar franchise, and if you're like in the mood for a big open world game at this point. I think it's fine to skip it. You are not missing a lot by skipping it, but maybe getting it now and then playing it around the launch of the movie, if you like can't wait for that third movie that is of course coming out in December, then they will also have the third person mode. I think it will be fun to jump into the game. I will certainly be jumping into the game in December again for the third person mode. Check out the second DLC that I still have not played yet. But I'm not sure what the discount is like. Let me know. Mastery level, yes. I'm level 80 for the character with the masteries. But why do you need a high mastery level? The mastery level is more just a, yo, your XP that you get after reaching the max level is not wasted. I would not like grind the mastery level. There's not been a good reason, I think, for it. And we of course have the DLC coming, which will add a lot of XP, so you will reach a lot of mastery levels there too. You recommend Hellsas? Well, Alex, it's not the game for me, I think. I'm playing Assassin's Creed Shadows on the guided mode, and I think that tells you enough. So, of course, Hellsas, for people who don't know, is... you probably know the game, right? There is a demo. I think that's nice, so you can kind of see if it's for you. But yeah, we have reviews now up as well. And people seem to like it. I think a lot of people who are not really a huge fan of the of what some of the AAA games are doing, where they're very much holding your hand and stuff. Then Hellsas is probably gonna be the GameSpot review, by the way. It's gonna be for you probably. But I heard the combat is not that great, and that is what I would be looking for. And yeah, as you can see, there's very minimal UI, so you really have to pay attention to what people are saying, and then find clues and kind of figure out where you have to go to. And I don't know. I think it's cool that there are games like this that are trying different things. As like a third-person action RPG lover, I do think it looked always really cool. But I'm not someone who is gonna look at all these notes and read it and then try and figure out where. I'm like. No, basically I play more games to fully relax, and for me, the combat and figuring like fun stuff out on how to quickly take out enemies or doing fun tricks with the gameplay is more appealing to me than listening to all these people, unless I'm like very, very engaged. Like for Horizon, I will really, really pay attention to everything everyone says because I'm really engaged with that world. For Shadows, for Assassin's Creed, I do that too, although I thought the writing in Shadows wasn't that exciting. But I'm not sure if I would be in the mood for that for the Hellsas, and it looks cool, but I'm also not really into the more, okay, it's always dark kind of world, but it has like a 79 on Metacritic, so it's actually pretty good. But I heard the combat in particular is pretty basic. Is it more Souls-like? I don't think it's Souls-like. This month will be amazing for Assassin's Creed. Yes, we're in September, that's true. But I think it will just be the Shadow stuff. Unless we hear something of the Mirage DLC this month already, that would be exciting. Yes, put the marker on the map. I don't want to read after 8 hours shift. That's me too, Jojo. But I think it's like more power to like give people the choice. I think it's fine. But in Shadows, I really quickly turned on the guided mode. I was like, I'm not in the mood to play sort of hide and seek on where all these enemies are and targets, etc. $75% off to get the gold edition. I do think that's a pretty sweet deal. Again, Sir Keaton, for Avatar, $28. It's really up to you. Do you think you will be in the mood for a game like that after the movie? I do think they will raise the price again after the movie comes out, or basically have like a new version or whatever. So, yeah, it's up to you. I think it is a fun game to play through, but yeah, it totally has its flaws. Fire Phoenix says, hey, you're Love the Free Run podcast. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, Luke and I are pretty busy this month. I might send him a message if we can do one tonight. We were actually like talking about it. Although I'm not sure how many, if we have a lot to talk about. We're more now just doing the show when there's fun stuff to talk about. And of course, last time we had the Gamescom overview, which was nice. But thanks for joining here as well, Fiery Phoenix. Appreciate you. Mick Motorhead, I played the Hellsas demo, and the combat is the one thing I didn't really know what to make of. Still might buy at launch. Yeah, again, the combat seems to be the thing that is mostly lacking in the reviews that I checked out. Brock is asking, what are your thoughts on VR gaming? I think it never like went beyond the sort of Wii moment, like the Nintendo Wii moment, right, where everyone was playing ball and doing the motion stuff for the first time. I like Beat Saber with it. It has a lot of potential, but until we only wear a glass that doesn't make us like super tired. Like I played Assassin's Creed Nexus on it. I think the game was pretty fun, but it was tiresome. Like I had only a week I think to play it for like a video or something, and yeah, that's not a way to experience VR. But yeah, they've tried many things, but it will become mainstream when you can also play it really chill, like on the couch, glasses on, and maybe then do stuff like this. But having the motion controls all the time is also not ideal. And laying on the couch doing VR and then your character moves, that's, yeah, people are getting motion sick really quickly with that. So sadly there are a lot of yeah, things against it. Like Horizon VR Call of the Mountain, it's should be a game I would like, but no, the climbing, I was climbing all the time. That's not why I play Horizon. Hey, Saber Knight, I'm happy that you are enjoying Hell Itself. 100% understand and agree. Some people will be turned off if they can't totally immerse themselves in the world and concentrate on every little thing. For me, it's like what I loved about the original games like Zelda, Secret of Mana, and Final Fantasy. That's awesome. The figure it out yourself approach was amazing in Adam Fall, so maybe Hell Cells would be great for anyone who liked that. That's a good point, Mick Motorhead. I also never got around to playing Adam Fall. But yeah, Yote next month, of course. I just found Destiny has come to mobile. Yeah, last week. I tried it on my ROG Ally, but I'm not gonna play with motion controls. I wanted to play with the actual controls. But that's pretty interesting. Yeah, so Sir Keaton, I think $28. That's a lot. That's a lot of content for that money. Is it now time to get back into Shadows? I would argue that you might want to wait till till next week. Then we at least get the updates with a lot of quality of life improvements, including the time of day change, and then the DLC is out. I'm not sure if you finished the game, Fire Phoenix, but then you should wait till the DLC, of course, in 2 weeks, because that will continue the story of the game. I'm excited for that. Severus says, we might hear more about the Mirage DLC on October 5th, the 2nd anniversary of Assassin's Creed Mirage. That's a good point. Yeah, that they do like a, hey, it's 2nd year anniversary, bam. I have a feeling, though, that the DLC will be out like in November or something. Nidox says, glad you like Onimusha. It looked like a fun game. I don't know how much about it or the other ones. I think you don't really need to know a lot about the other ones. If from what I played, they just seem to... It kind of reminded me of the Dragon's Dogma 2. You also didn't really have to play Dragon's Dogma 1. Because Dragon's Dogma 2 was more okay, we have cool ideas in the first one. Let's, like, expand on them, make the world a bit bigger, etc., etc. And make it a bit more modern. And I think Onimusha Wave the Sword is doing that too, while still having elements that are reminiscent of the PS2 game. So... I loved it. I was amazed. Maybe it was also because I just did not expect a lot from it. So I went in and just... It feels so good to play. I really hope they drop a demo for that. I think that will sell the game for many people. Rise Flopper, how do you think the legacy outfits will work in Shadows? Like only cosmetic, or will they have their own stats and gear sets? That's a very good question. I hope they, of course, have their own stats, because if they have stats, then you can still transmog them if you don't like the stats. I think that would be the easiest way to do them, and that would also be fun. So we can have a hood from one legacy outfit, maybe a chest from another outfit, and you can mix and match. That was also the case in Odyssey. In Odyssey, they also did legacy outfits. That was just like 5 pieces of the Ezio outfit with their own dedicated perk. So if you like look at that, that was Quebec again as well. So I hope that that's how they do it, but we will see. Dragon's Dogma 2 was low-key a remake of DD1. The title doesn't update to Dragon's Dogma 2 till you beat the game. Yeah, it's crazy, actually. It's crazy, yeah. But yeah, I think that will be, like, you didn't have to play the first one. It, of course, helped. You would know some stuff, but, yeah. Maybe they should not have called it Dragon's Dogma 2. I really think Dragon's Dogma 2 could have been way bigger than it turned out to be. Of course, the optimization on stuff did not really help. And yeah, because the hype before release for Dragon's Dogma 2 was huge. Was really, really big. And then, yeah, it never went beyond the initial... I really thought it would have like a low-key Elden Ring moment where people were like, whoa, this is actually really cool. Because that game also has a lot of mysteries and you have to figure out a lot of stuff yourself. I actually like that because even if you did not really... So you could still play the game if you just like by just killing enemies and just like continuing with the story. There were just some side missions or other stuff that, yeah, or there was like one area that you could enter through multiple ways, and I like that there are like multiple ways to get to it. For Hell's Dust, correct me if I'm wrong, it does seem like the whole point of the game is having to read and listen to people. I think it's cooler if it's like an optional thing that you can just play the game with like there will be some the game will point you in the direction of things. It will give you hints to what to do, and you can just without really paying attention still have a good time. And I think that was the case in Dragon's Dogma 2. But if you paid more attention, you got more out of it. Versus, yeah, you really have to pay attention. Otherwise, good luck. Like, it's not gonna happen. I like the balance more, I would say. Yeah, so I think the Xiao Jun outfit for Nawe makes a lot of sense. It's goblin galore, Kenny says. Yeah, I get it. It depends, though. If you, like, go later on into the game, yeah, there are less goblins. Mostly the early area. But, what's PlayStation new easy refund process? Alex says. I think you can just do it through the app. You don't have to go to like a support page or something. I think that's the thing. But you still can only refund if you have not downloaded the game. So, yeah, there's still some wrinkle to it. It's not like Steam where you can play 2 hours and then refund. Do you think we'll get a showcase or a state of play this month as GameWire's news? I think we're gonna get a state of play again. So they just announced, by the way, I'm not sure if you guys saw it. We will be live reacting to it. I'm gonna go to PlayStation. Oh. Let's see. They just announced a state of play for 007 First Light. Get ready for over 30 minutes of new gameplay and new details. So that's pretty exciting. Let's see. Prepare for a deep dive on 007 First Light. During the special state of play, the development team at IO Interactive declassifies new gameplay on James Bond's upcoming espionage action-adventure thrill ride. Catch the show live on PlayStation Twitch and YouTube channels on September 3rd, 11 a.m. PT, 7 p.m. in the UK, and 8 p.m. in Europe. Again, we will be live reacting, so I hope you join us on the main channel for that. But that's exciting. We're finally gonna get gameplay. We've only seen the trailer. Maybe this game is closer than we all are thinking, because usually a state of play, like for example the Borderlands state of play was in June, and then the game came out September, or like comes out in September. So usually the state of plays are closer to launch. Otherwise, why? They have a deal with Sony. Like they are getting like PlayStation is likely getting some sort of perks out of this, and they're like, okay, in exchange, we're gonna put you on the PlayStation Store banner. We're gonna put you in the... We will share the trailer on our YouTube channel and put it like in the homepage or whatever. And you get a state of play. And yeah, you usually want to have those beats close to launch. So I would not be surprised if we're looking at an early 2026 for this. I would be down for that. But yeah, James Bond, I'm really curious. There will be a channel that just that could just make a lot of videos with Helfas basically telling people how to do the quest for people who can't be bothered. Why? Fair enough, Fiery Phoenix. I do think though, if you like, I do think making tutorials on Hell is Us is probably gonna be pretty lucrative, because if the game doesn't tell you anything, sure. But I also think that a lot of people that are buying into this game don't want that stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm not sure if that will actually work out, because you're serving an audience that does not like that, and that's why they bought Hell is Us. Because that seems to be the big thing going for it. I think there are more people that buy it because of they don't tell you anything, you have to figure out everything yourself, versus the people who like the setting or whatever and are like, oh, I want to play it, and then they figure out, damn, I don't know what to do, I'm going to YouTube. Sir Keaton is saying, I meant you going to be playing Borderlands 4. Yeah, I can't wait for Borderlands 4, and we will, let's do the September games. I think we've been talking about it a bit, and we can like do our first topic here. Of course, if you are new to the streams, thanks for joining. Make sure you are subscribed, of course. If you are able to chat, then I know you are subscribed, so thanks for that. Every Monday, I go live here, and we talk about, you can ask questions, we talk about the recent gaming news, and I also record topics that I then want to share with you. Yeah. Let's go over the biggest gaming releases of September 2025. So yeah, I will then not be really looking at the chat, and then afterwards we can discuss everything, and now you can just sit back. Kenny's asking, what's my game of the year so far? Hey, Peps Gaming, good to see you as well. Woo! Yeah, I played Expedition, but I've not finished it yet. But I don't think it will be on. It's the combat. I love what it's trying to do. But it's still, I don't know. I mean, Shadows is the game that I played the most. So, and looking at, I think Yote is probably the best shot of becoming it. But yeah, there's not a standout for me yet, and I know that's crazy for some people. If I think about it. I'm also still kind of blanking on all the games that I played, but... Jojo's asking what's going on with the Horizon Online game. I don't know. When we hear anything, I will of course let you know. But Kenny, what's your game of the year so far? Would be cool if the second DLC for Shadows is Portugal fighting the Templars. Oh yeah. Marwin, good to see you. There's going to be a second DLC, I'm sure of it. Early 2026 probably. I wonder if this will be Dark Horse like Until Dawn, where they fund the marketing but it pops off. You mean the James Bond thing? I'm the type of guy that will be stuck in point-and-click adventures for a whole year rather than look at a guide. Yeah. No, then Hellas is probably really up your alley. Expedition as well, yeah. Kinda interested in Pragmata as well. Blueprints, yeah, that's a good one too. Doom the Dark Age, game of the year for me, till NG4 and Yote. Yours game of the year is Pirate Yakuza. Samaya, I completely forgot that game came out this year, but I'm happy that you enjoyed it. You enjoyed it, right? Yote looks like Ghost of Tsushima 1.5 instead of an invention. It will be another Spider-Man 2 situation where it won't be as good as the first one. My prediction for Yote is they are holding stuff back for that game. It kind of reminds me of The Last of Us Part 2 and that situation. I might actually do a video on this. That could be interesting. But no, I would not be surprised if they are just like God of War as well. I think I said it last week during the stream as well. But again, I might do like a quick video on it. But if you like remember God of War, for every Sony sequel we have the same conversation. It looks like a 1.5. And sure, they are playing it pretty safe, especially Horizon Forbidden West played it pretty safe, but it added a lot of cool new stuff that I wanted to see in the first game, like flying. But for Spider-Man 2, I think Spider-Man 2 maybe is not really... Like, that had all the PS5 bells and whistles, like the fast travel and all that sort of stuff, which was very exciting. Of course, the map being bigger, etc. But for God of War and for Last of Us, they really held things back. In The Last of Us Part 2, you did not know that Joel would die in the first minute. You thought that Dina would die and that Ellie would go on a revenge with Joel. That was like, if you go back in time, talk to people a few weeks before The Last of Us Part 2 launched, that was what everyone was thinking. God of War Ragnarok, you thought, okay, it's Kratos and Atreus again, and okay, what's gonna happen? We're fighting Odin, or what's going on? And then, of course, that game took huge turns with, whoa, we can play Atreus. Whoa, there are way more companions. The game is way bigger than we thought. So, I really hope that Yote is the same. I really think that what they've been saying about the one third of the game, the first 1/3 of the game, will be you can go after the targets in the order you want. Some of the targets, there are of course 6. I think you can take out 3 in the order you want, or like 2 maybe. And then after that, something will change. I really think that something will change. Maybe I'm hyping myself up. Maybe my expectations are a bit too high. But I don't believe that what we've been seeing so far is it in terms of what the game has. I'm pumped for Chronos The New Dawn. I get early access on a Tuesday night. Nice, Kenny. I really hope that game delivers. Mafia: The Old Country is mine. My YouTube mail. That's interesting. Still need to go back to that game. Lies of P DLC is... Oh, wow. Yeah, no, that totally counts. I think that was like a big, meaty expansion. Spider-Man 1 and 2 also had another game in between. Yeah. That like, Miles Morales was the 1.5 game. And then jumping from Miles to Spider-Man 2, indeed. Still, yeah, was the 0.5 upgrade. So yeah, I totally think, like, it can be... I would argue there are 2 camps of PlayStation sequels. We got The Last of Us Part 2 and God of War Ragnarok. And we got Horizon Forbidden West and Spider-Man 2. The ones that just iterate on what they did, give us new content with the characters we love, and add stuff that we wanted from the previous game, but not really try to do anything drastically different. While I think God of War Ragnarok, the open zones, the side content in that game, again, the plot twist, the companions, having a completely new character to play as. Again, we did not know that. Last of Us Part 2, I think the same. Also did way more than I think we expected going in from this game. So I hope that Yote is in that camp, but it might also be in the Forbidden West camp. We will see, but Sucker Punch... Like, I think you could argue that Icky Island was maybe the 1.5 already. That already had some really cool ideas. So, I'm holding out hope. No, the trailer spoiled Last of Us? I don't think any of the trailers... They actually put Joel in situations where he wasn't. So, no, they really, like... They were actually... Yeah... Really, people thought we were going on another Joel and Ellie adventure before the game launched. And then, yeah, of course, that did not happen. I'm ready for UFOs in Yote. Let's go. Again, it's so weird that Jin has not been mentioned at all. I think it would be cool if we have like a flashback with Jin. Something like that. Where it's like, okay, what has Jin been up to since the ending of that game? Maybe there will be a whole storyline where we kind of learn about the legacy of the ghost and Atsu figuring out, whoa, okay, there's a legacy that is gonna be my new adventure instead of getting vengeance for the people that killed my family. Instead, no, I want to do good for this world. I want to use my powers just like Jin did. And then we go on that arc and bam, there's a flashback where we play Jin on the mainland of Japan. Like, I don't know. I'm really maybe expecting too much. But I really think they're holding things close to their chest with that game. Remember the trailer where Joel's playing the parts that Jesse played in the game? Yeah, no, like I said, Mellow Pintor, that's what I mean. They did that on purpose. And I totally get that people felt cheated by that. But I also think it's kind of awesome because we are in a world where trailers spoil almost everything. When I like go to the movies, I sometimes just do this because some of these trailers are the worst for movies I know I want to see. And so I prefer it if they put you on the wrong foot and then you play the game and like I was lucky to play Last of Us Part 2 before it was out. So I had nothing spoiled for me. And then it worked. Then it extra worked. And I remember the moment, you see Kratos like talk, and then suddenly the camera moves away from him. You're like, what? This is the first time that happens. Moves behind the house. You follow Atreus, and all of a sudden, you're Atreus, and you move the stick, and like, oh my god, I'm now controlling Atreus. That is like... Is it 7 hours into the game or something? We did not know that. So, I'm not expecting that we can play the wolf, maybe. But I am expecting something. Something like that will push this game beyond the... Oh, it's more Ghost of Tsushima, but in a new world with a different character who has different weapon types. They should make an Atreus spin-off game. That has been rumored for a long time. We will see what happens with that. Did anyone ever remember that Avowed came out this year? Oh man, yeah, that came out too. I did play that. I like the latest trailer, like even copied some of the animations. Mostly, I'm not convinced about the open world in Yote. That is just something we cannot know after playing. So I'll of course do my best in the review to let you know what I think of it. So when do you think Ubisoft will start marketing the Sense of Time remake? That's a good question. Maybe during the State of Play in September, or otherwise Game Awards. But it also depends. Like, they have the Black Flag remake as well. Like, I don't think having a Prince of Persia remake and Black Flag remake announced at the same event is a smart idea. It will be interesting to see what they do. But yeah, they have both remakes, of course, coming before April 2026. Well, it's around 300 years later. I think a small shout out is enough. I hope they do more than that. What if the game starts where you play Jin? Like something like that. I wanna believe. I hope the new... I mean, we already know that his Sakai clan armor is in the game, but the horn is broken. They put that in the State of Play. Maybe we learn why the horn was broken. Maybe we take the helmet and then you see Jin fighting on a... I don't know. We gotta believe. Spider-Man 2 is one of my favorite games probably. Only felt the ending was a bit rushed. Man, the whole Venom sequence for me. After playing Venom, after that, I did. The whole MJ sequence, it was really cringe for me. But yeah, Ghost of Yota is gonna be great. Atreus gameplay was not good. Yeah, the Atreus, like, some people are 50... Everyone is 50-50 on it. Remember, well, the Mongols were conquered by the Sixth Earth, so it's not gonna be the Mongols. I mean, again, I don't think, like, Jin is... I think it will be a flashback if we play as Jin or something like that. But yeah. So Maya, can you react to a promotional trailer of Trials in the Sky First Chapter remake coming this month? Pretty... I don't even know half of the words that you said, but appreciate, of course, your support as always. I'm not sure if I can like give any actual good insights after watching that trailer. But yeah, you've shown me stuff and I've looked at stuff before, but I'm skipping on it this time. We're gonna look at the September games. Is it a September game though? Because then you're in luck. Oh, it is. Oh my god, it is. Okay, we're gonna look at the trailer for it. I'm gonna put it in. Announcement. The promotional trailer we need. 2 weeks ago. Return to where it all began. Okay, we're gonna check that out. Why am I hyped for Mirage more than Shadows? It's a preference thing. Like Mirage was more for the stealth people. It was more old school Assassin's Creed. Like Shadows, you just played a lot of Shadows. Maybe you're a bit burned out on it. But I really hope the DLC is better than... I really hope it's gonna be like a really worthwhile experience and feel kind of different versus the main game. I think the fact that they are really focusing on the new enemies and traps and stuff has me curious, and the fact that it actually has something meaningful to say in terms of story, I think is interesting too. Remember, Wrath of the Druids, apart from the Valhalla sort of things that the game had, where, yeah, they were just like... Valhalla just had some issues, obviously, that they take with them to the DLC. I think Ireland looked amazing. I think the story wasn't that bad, actually. There was some nice plot twists near the end, so I hope there's like... They had a mythical boss as well. I hope that that's the case here, too. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Let's record our first topic right here. And then I'm gonna answer more questions, and we're gonna, of course, keep discussing things. But let's do that right now. It's September, and a lot of games are coming out in the next few weeks. I want to go over the highlights and kind of talk you through it. Of course, let me know what you're looking forward to in the comments down below or in the chat if you're watching live. So I'm over on GameSpot because they got some nice images too. Hirogami, a 3D platformer. Not really my cup of tea. Of course, we got the Indiana Jones The Great Circle, Order of the Giants DLC. If you actually have the more expensive edition, you can just play this. It is included, and of course it's also on PS5. I still need to play the game. I waited for the PS5 version, then of course in April a lot of other stuff happened. I'm still on the fence if I should go back and play it. Star Wars Outlaws is coming to Switch too. Yeah, I'm curious if that system can run it and if it will help, because of course we know the game did not do as well as Ubisoft had hoped. Let's continue to like the first big one here. We're still on September 4th. Like there are like a million games coming out on September 4th, but the big one is Hollow Knight Silksong. Let's see. We actually got confirmation that the game will release on September 4th, of course, and that it will have a dedicated time. So normally on console, a game, or like usually on console, a game of course launches at midnight. For Hollow Knight Silksong, they want to launch it on the same time, at the same time for everyone. So you see the times right here, and they're only charging $20 for it. That's $5 more than the first Hollow Knight. They could have charged way more, and people would have been buying it anyways. But no, I think $20 is kind of wild. Looking at what other games, like for example, Ubisoft put out Prince of Persia, that roguelike game, for $30. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was $50. And they're charging $20 for Hollow Knight. This game will sell millions in the first day. It will break even easily. And yeah, maybe for $20, even more people who are like, I'm just curious because the hype is huge, will check it out as well. I'll be picking it up as well. I'm curious for sure. I hope it can live up to the hype, because that would mean it's another Game of the Year contender. Then we got Hell is Us. We actually just got the Metacritic for it. It's a 79, which is pretty good for a game from a relatively small studio, of course, their first project. But what people are really saying is that, yeah, it's basically, if you like to figure stuff out yourself, this is gonna be a game for you. Third-person action, you're talking to people, you're finding stuff, they point you in the direction of where you need to go. Yeah, it's really, if you like that type of game, if you don't like the AAA hand-holdy stuff that is, of course, going on in those titles, yeah, you might want to check this out. There is a demo for it, too. So, September 4th is also when it's coming out. And then we got another kind of AA interesting game that I really hope delivers. It's the new game from Blooper Team. Of course, they did The Medium last year, Silent Hill 2 remake, and now it's Chronos, The New Dawn. It's basically Resident Evil meets Dead Space. You're this traveler, and yeah, you're going back in time basically to extract some doctors or other people that could be of value in the current time, because Earth has been overrun by scary monsters that are made of human flesh. And yeah, you have your weapons and stuff to take them out. And again, I just hope, I think it's always cool that like they're trying a new IP. They have been, of course, doing the Silent Hill 2 remake that worked out really well. I would argue that's probably a different team inside Blooper. They have a pretty sizable development team. But no, I'm curious, and I hope that this works out for them. But if you're like on the fence, hopefully they do a demo. But I also think they might do like a promotion already during Halloween, where they might be like 30% off or something. So might be worth waiting on if you're on a fence. Just a prediction that I have would make sense in my opinion. Everybody's Golf, Hot Shots. Gameranx Magina, I know people are looking into that. It's not really for me. NBA, of course, dropping their game. I know from the investor call, I'm a crazy person, I listen to the investor calls from these companies because they give very interesting insights, that NBA 2K25 did actually very well for them. So yeah, seemingly they're going to continue with that. It's still coming out on PS4 and Xbox One, which is crazy to me. But yeah, that's of course, with these sports games, I will do a PlayStation 6 video as well. Maybe it's already up by the time you watch this. And there I talk about why these consoles are still being supported and what Sony is trying to do to get people off the PS4 onto the PlayStation 6. Yes, it's pretty interesting stuff. Garfield Kart, of course, why not? And then we got the big one, Borderlands 4. And this is really going to be one of the biggest games of the year in terms of, yeah, popularity. It has been 6 years since Borderlands 3. And, like, you could argue that they're playing it pretty safe. It's more Borderlands. If you show this to someone, they're like, yeah, it looks like Borderlands 3. It looks like all the other Borderlandses. But they're actually, if you look under the hood, they're actually trying a lot of different stuff. We already saw the grapple hook in action. I'm really curious about the open zones. They have 4 open zones that you can explore. So they're adding more of the sort of things that I like from an open world RPG, where you can run into a big monster and, yeah, maybe get a legendary weapon by searching for a chest. You can find vault keys to then enter a vault. We see one of the 4 vault hunters right now. Of course, they have more depth this time. Yeah, they already announced a pretty extensive post-launch for if you want to play this for a long time. I really think that, I mean, I love the Borderlands 3 post-launch. I'm actually pretty excited to jump into this. My only thing is that it's launching around other things that I want to sink a lot of time into. So let's get to those things. So this is September 12th, as you can see. And if we then move on, LEGO Warriors, I want to shout this one out. Maybe you remember it from the State of Play, but it's basically It Takes Two with very tiny yellow bricks. So that's another game that is coming out in September here, a co-op journey. Of course, It Takes Two did very well, so it makes sense that there are companies like Little Nightmares 3 that is coming out in October, is also really inspired by It Takes Two. So it makes sense that more companies are looking into this co-op adventures type of game. But yeah, maybe you are into it. It's of course a nice family game. Skate, of course, kind of out of nowhere dropped their date. Their early access date will be September 16th. Still coming to PS4 and Xbox One. Crazy to think about. Let's look at some gameplay. I've not looked that up. Skate 4 release date. They probably have like a trailer for it. Early access trailer. So yeah, it's like an open world skateboarding game, of course. Really not for me. I'm like not into this scene at all. But I think, of course, the meme has been very funny for the last 10 years or longer. I don't even know. Every time you went to an EA Instagram post or another social post, people would not be reacting to the Sims news or whatever news they would share on that social media. Everyone would just be spamming Skate 4, question mark. So those people better show up for this because, yeah, they've been working on it for a long time. I'm curious if they can make this a thing. They really want to make this, of course, a huge live service platform. And, yeah, you can skate around in a big open world. Curious if it lands for them, but that is certainly another, yeah, semi-big title that people have been looking for. And it's on September 16th. So the other game, or actually game update that I will be sinking a lot of time into, that all the September release calendars that I looked for did not include. Well, I think it's 10 hours of new content for one of the biggest games of the year. I'm a bit biased. I love Assassin's Creed, of course, but still. Yeah, the Claws of Waji DLC taking place after the ending of Shadows. So people are saying, whoa, we finally get the real ending. Well, my prediction has always been that there's going to be a second DLC. So there will be another cliffhanger likely in this DLC. But that's kind of what they're trying to do differently. Instead of having DLCs that take place during the game, they now want to just continue the story. So it's more meaningful for people. I'm curious if they're going to do a boost. But I don't think that makes sense, right? So a boost, they did that for the other games as well, where, hey, you can just boost the character to the max level and immediately play the DLC if you're only interested in that. We will see, but yeah, it gets a new weapon type for Naue, so we can use that. And again, it Let's now meet someone she has been looking for. September 16th, 10 hours of new content. I am totally excited for that, of course. Frostpunk has been delayed a couple of times, but it's now hitting on September 18th for console. And then the other big one that I've been alluding to with the Borderlands, Assassin's Creed, Dying Light the Beast. I've played a lot of Dying Light 2. Some streamers and creators were actually able to play like a demo for it. But yeah, I think the world in particular, the really like cool overgrown city, looks very, very awesome. It's Dying Light 2, basically, but they just enhanced a lot of systems. Dying Light 2 came out 2023, right? Yeah, just before Horizon Forbidden West. Was that? It was 2022. I always forget what like the Elden Ring time as well. So yeah, it's been a while actually for some like a meaningful Dying Light game. I'm curious if it will be meaningful though. Like I am curious if the story can land. I do think that's gonna be very important. But yeah, it's more Dying Light, but in a very cool setting with a lot of new weapons. Like look at the map; it's pretty huge. I think it's like 20 hours. But yeah, it's cool that we can immediately use the firearms that were missing from the first or from the second Dying Light, and then later added. So basically, if you play Dying Light 2 at launch, this will feel like kind of a new game in a way. But obviously, it is more Dying Light in general. I'm looking forward to it though. Although it is Shadows, Borderlands 4, Dying Light. So if I'm like knees deep, if I don't get like an early code for that, I don't know. It really depends on how everything shakes out for that. We have to quickly look at this because Samaya was like, you have to check this out. Okay, we are not. So this is Trails in the Sky first chapter. And it's, I think it's like a remaster, remake or something. New era. Now with beautifully remade 3D graphics. Well, Samaya, I'm happy for you that you got another cool game to play. What is the Metacritic like for this? Like for the first one, if we have it, because it might be like so old that it does not have a Metacritic. If I like do this. 83. Okay, so people seem to love it. Well, I'm happy for people that are into this, that there is a remake for it, but I will skip it. That is for sure, looking at all the other games that are coming out. Let's see, do we have more stuff? Yeah, Baby Steps. A lot of games actually got delayed because of Hollow Knight Silksong, so Baby Steps is now 2 weeks later. Yeah, that's the game where you fall a lot. It has been in many state of play. Sony actually believes a lot in this title. So yeah, I hope they deliver on that. It's not really a game for me. Slime Rancher 2, that's actually pretty big. That it's coming out. I know people love the first one. And then we got Silent Hill F, which I think is the other kind of big, more AAA type game. Only this one seems to be more focused on the action. IGN did a preview and they really, really liked it. So we have to wait and see. I think the enemy design looks awesome. The world is pretty awesome too. But yeah, it seems like there are... I'm just not sure about the combat yet. But yeah, this little girl can take a lot of hits and really swing these weapons around with a lot of strength. Which is kind of interesting. But... yeah, you got your boss fights. She got a Yari now, why not? Or actually a Naginata. I don't know. I hope it delivers, obviously. I think it's at least cool that they are also making new Silent Hill games. I think the writer on this is actually pretty good. So, hopefully it delivers. I'm not really a horror fan. But again, this looks more like an action game where this boss is like teleporting around. You have to figure out their moves. And IGN, again, was... After the 5 hours, they were pretty excited about it. Yeah, of course, there you got Sonic Racing Crossworlds as well. With, like, SpongeBob and Steve from Minecraft. Then we got some other games right here. Of course, EA Sports FC dropping as well. big for people who are, of course, into that. Oh, the Final Fantasy Tactics remake is coming. That's awesome. That was, of course, heavily rumored, and now it's almost here. I love this game. I've played it quite a lot, actually, but that was a really long time ago. We got an Alien game. I did not even know about this for VR. Oh, was not a good game when it launched on VR last year, but it could. But could the upcoming PC re-release improve it? Okay. Well, I'm not convinced that it will. And we got more Nickelodeon stuff. And that is kind of it for September. With, of course, October being Yote immediately on October 2nd. So you could argue that you might want to skip some September games to save up money for Yote. That will, of course, eat up a lot of your time. Battlefield 6 next month as well. We'll then do another roundup like this. I hope you enjoyed that. If you got feedback, let me know. And, of course, subscribe. Again, let me know which game you're going to get in the comments down below. And I will speak to you soon. Goodbye. The Alien is in a bit of a renaissance lately, so maybe it catches on this time around. We will see. We will see for sure. Okay, I'm going to put it in the folder for Joyce. Let's see. React. Let's catch up on some games of September. And then we got another Yote topic and another PS6 topic. So some exciting stuff. Bleep. Bleep. Let's see. Oh, that is Daisy. Okay, all good. Boom. We're gonna do the Yote topic next, and then talk PlayStation 6, baby. It looks very Genshin Impact. I agree. Trails in the Sky, my GOAT and Game of the Year. Really, Dovesme, it's sick. Happy that it's back for you. Hey, Slawomir, good to see you. Tony Ox Pro, you'll be surprised, it's gonna be very popular. Yori, will you cover Silk Song? We're gonna stream it, Alex, on the main channel. Dennis is very hyped for it. So we're gonna be streaming it the moment it goes live. That's the idea. Looks like RE5 enemies for those who remember. People have forced themselves to believe Comet was supposed to be bad in Silent Hill on purpose, so now they're like, hey, here, enemies have not the hit stun reaction. Yeah, I'm really curious how Silent Hill F shakes out, but if it, I think the gameplay doesn't really sell it for me, the combat gameplay. You should check the FBC Firebreak player base. I think it's non-existent probably, right? It's kind of sad, but that game was never gonna work out for them. If IGN likes it, then I'll pass. Lol. I get that, MJ, but I do think they do some good work, and I do think they're the people that actually like work there. They have the best intentions for sure. So, but yeah, they have so many people there that, yeah, IGN is nothing. It's the person. You really have to look at, okay, who is the person reviewing this? What did they give? What did they like before this? And then you can kind of see, oh, are we aligned or not? PS6 this soon. Well, Peps Gaming, we're going to talk about that in a moment. We got Blazing Flame also here. How many first-party games do you think PlayStation will show at the rumored event this month? And when do you think Insomniac will show their next game? Either Venom or Wolverine? Well, Blazing Flame, as always, thanks for joining and thanks for your questions. So, I've said it before, but I think their tactic has been clear now for the state of plays. So, we of course are... So, there are two types of state of plays. You have the state of play focused on one game, We're now seeing that with 007, that we of course get on Wednesday. And you got the regular state of plays. But they still go to different companies and are like, yo, we want you to be a PlayStation branded release, even though you also come to Xbox and PC. And they're like, okay, sure, what do you want? Well, maybe some exclusive content or benefits. Seems like Battlefield, for example, has PlayStation benefits, like XP tokens and whatever. And in exchange, EA is like, or other companies that Sony strikes a deal with, what are you going to do for us? And one of the things they're going to do for them is put them in a state of play. But then Sony's like, okay, but if we only do a state of play with all those third-party games that we got to deal with that are still maybe exciting, like people want to see Battlefield 6, maybe the campaign or something during a state of play in the future. But they still need, like, if every state of play we saw was only the third-party games and no PlayStation game, because Sony's like, yeah, we're not going to show our own games at our own event. We're going to wait for Game Awards or when we finally do a showcase at some point. Then I do think people will start, like, less and less people will show up at these state of plays. But what they've now been doing is, I think, pretty smart. Every state of play, I've said it countless of times, we can go back to last year Astrobot. Even before that, they had the Kojima new game after Death Stranding 2 that will be a PlayStation exclusive. Like, he's returning to the espionage genre. That was like the big announcement in the January 2024 state of play. Then the next one was the June one, or the May one actually, that Astrobot was the final reveal. Then the one in September was Ghost of Yotei, the final reveal. Then we had one in February this year, Saros, the new game from the Returnal makers. Then we had the one in June, the most recent one, had Marvel Tekken Token. And then, yeah, and now we are probably in September. So basically, instead of having one big show where they're like, yo, it's a PlayStation showcase, bam, here's Astrobot, bam, here's Ghost of Yotei, bam, here's bam, 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 bam. They're now like, okay, we have these big announcements, basically like a poker game, right? We have all our cards right here. When are we gonna show our cards? Like, when are we gonna reveal that card? Instead of like immediately going all in, dropping the cards on the table at one go, they're like, okay, now what if we do one card here and then have that state of, like, a lot of the state of plays were pretty bad. If the state of September state of play from last year did not have Ghost of Yotei, it would be way less exciting. So they're looking at that and like, we can beef up our state of plays, the ones that we are selling to publishers. If you say to EA, yeah, we are gonna do a state of play where we re-reveal Wolverine, you can be part of that. Okay, sign us up. That's way more exciting than, yeah, it's a state of play with a bunch of third-party guys. You will see, but it's gonna be fun. Trust us. That's not exciting. So I don't think we're gonna see a. I would love to be wrong. Like, I would love to be wrong, but Sony is, for one, they're way more careful with announcing a game closer, further out than they were before. They, like, Ghost of Yotei announced, launched a year later. Ghost of Tsushima was announced, was it E3 2016? It came out in 2020. Like, they don't want to do that again. So the release timings are way, or like the reveal till release timings way shorter. And yeah, beefing up the state of plays, I think, makes sense. So, long story short, let's see, Blazing Flame, what was your question again? When do you think do you think PlayStation will show at the rumor how many first party? I think it's gonna be 1 or 2. I mean, they're gonna showcase Ghost of Yotei again, like, hey, it's coming out in a few weeks, and they have another game at the end. That's what they've been doing so far, and usually when Sony finds a groove that is working, they're continuing. And last year they had Ghost of Yotei, so I really think that during this upcoming state of play in September, we have the 007 one. I think they will do another one like they do every year to coincide with Tokyo Game Show. They're gonna showcase their next financial year game. So what is the big one? April till March, and I think it's Intergalactic. I think Intergalactic launches before Wolverine. I might sound crazy, but that's what I think. Although I hope it's Venom. I hope Venom is like a surprise thing they have. But yeah, Insomniac, they already carried. Like, if you compare Insomniac to a Naughty Dog only re-released their games. Insomniac actually put out a lot of big games. So, if we don't see Insomniac anymore until the PS6, we're of course not going to, but yeah, they are already fine. They're great, but yeah, I think it's exciting. But same with Santa Monica, it's kind of hard to predict. It seems that leak when it happened for Insomniac was already outdated, or they changed a lot, or whatever. Things have all changed a lot, I think, since Spider-Man 2 came out for Insomniac. Phantom game is gonna get announced. I hope so, Mr. Kidler. The Cyberpunk 2077 effect for sure. You don't wanna, and like that's the crazy part. Remember, Cyberpunk was delayed 4 times or something, and then it came out and it still wasn't great. So imagine if that game, yeah, they first wanted to launch that game before the PS5 and Xbox Series were out. So then the world would have looked so much there, or like that launch would have looked even worse if that game came out without the backwards compatible version on PS5 and Xbox Series, because that was the only way you could properly play the game on console, which is wild. I want to know more about Interstellar. Me too. I think having them announce it last year makes me believe that it's actually a bit closer than we think. But, and yeah, Last of Us Part 2 was 2020. Same year as Ghost. And Ghost of Yotei is coming out this year. Obviously, they did Last of Us Online, and that did not go well. But I do believe that they've been, like they said, they've been working on it since Last of Us Part 2. So, I do think at one point they want to get it out. It's gonna be like 2026 or early 2027, I think. But and Wolverine just changed a lot. I really think for Wolverine they're gonna be like, here it is again. Oh, it's launching in a few months. Or they're going okay, we have to say something because people don't think it's. I don't think like revealing that and then without a release date or without a 2026 or like some sort of window will be a bad look. It's kind of like what's happening with Judas. They're constantly like, hey, remember us? Yeah, when are you going to come out? Well, we don't know. I'm like, okay. That doesn't work. You can only have, like, people will at one point not care anymore. Yeah, either Barlock's game. I do think Barlock is more like a Game Awards thing. I think that's why. So, I do think there are calibers of PlayStation first-party titles. You got your Astrobot, you got your Saros. Even Ghost of Yotei, like a sequel we all expected. But for the juggernaut, all eyes on us. We are doing something sick. I think you go to Game Watch for that. Because State of Play, people watch that. They only have a PlayStation. But for the Intergalactics, for the Cory Barlog's new game, you want people to look at you want to be like, look over here what we have. And hope that people on PC are finally, buying a PS5 as well. Like, they might be looking at, okay, GTA 6, I want to play that. Do I want to wait for the PC version? We don't know when that's going to come. And yeah, Ghost of Yotei, I love Tsushima. That's probably going to come to PC as well at some point. But, so the list goes on. I do think that then you might bite the bullet and buy a PS5. So I do think announcing Cory's game at Game Awards would be huge, but that's too big for a State of Play. Saros is like the game of 2026 for me in terms of hype. The amount of 2026 games, that might be fun to do a topping on that in the future too. What we know about 2026 so far with Crimson Desert now there too. 007 of course, oh man. I mean, it feels like we're always looking at that. I think 2025 looked completely different. Last year we thought GTA was still going to come out this year. And 2025 has been great, but mostly the AA games have been thriving this year, which is nice. But AA and indie games. Yeah. Okay, speaking of Ghost of Yotei, let's look at some new info we got, right? It's gonna be a shorter one, but I think it's gonna be exciting either way. Let's see. Do we have something interesting? I want to go over some quick updates for Ghost of Yotei. They, for one, shared a new video regarding our wolf companion that looks very interesting with some new gameplay and info. We got other new gameplay for the firearms and other sort of stuff that I want to go over. And also, let's see, we have information about the limited edition console bundles that will be available by the time you watch this, maybe September 4th. So let's look over that. But first, it's not gonna get delayed anymore. Ghost of Yotei. But first, it's not gonna get delayed anymore. Ghost of Yotei has gone gold. Congrats to the Congrats to the Sucker Punch team on that achievement. And yeah, that means that we're playing it very, very soon. I really can't wait. Especially after looking at some of the new gameplay. I think the wolf companion, I first thought it was gonna be a fit, and then the wolf would come and help you out. But no, it's actually a bit different. So if we look at this social media video they shared. Let's see, wolf ally. Etsu is joined on her hunt by a wolf, but a bond needs to be built with your four-legged ally. Okay. At first the wolf roams freely, but may join you as you explore or fight enemies. So at some point the wolf will just join and help you out. Discovering wolf dens and rescuing caged wolves will earn you points for a wolf skill tree. This game is gonna have many smaller skill trees, it seems. And then, okay, I like the wolf. I wanna, like, maybe the final skill tree, or maybe skill that we can unlock, will let you summon the wolf permanently. We will maybe learn about that in this video, but let's continue. That's at least new information. Unlocks increase the chance of the wolf fighting by your side. In addition to very, yeah, that's pretty cool. If you like the wolf, this might actually be a pretty good thing to focus on. Having the wolf show up more, because then of course enemies divide their attention. You can more freely, yeah, figure out their weak spots. I think it might be actually pretty good, but we will see. Here you already see he is like completely stunning basically the enemy with the shield, and then you can just strike. And of course you have the standoff with the wolf, which is awesome. And that's kind of the new info we got. I think that's pretty interesting, a new mechanic, and it's cool that it's more than just a, yeah, you can whistle and it's just always by your side. No, they have a twist. And I think it has like an interesting impact, or like some sort of link to the story of Yotei as well. Looking at the katana that she has, that seems to be reminiscent of her father. So that's interesting stuff. Also, we got brand new gameplay. Maybe you know Sunny Legend. That's pretty cool. So Sony has been basically hiring the people that are doing, like, I think around the Ghost of Tsushima launch, or maybe a bit before that, there were people that were just posting amazing, like, short videos of their games doing, like, pro moves. And now Sony is like, that's actually a pretty dope way to promote our games. Horizon already did it, and now for Ghost of Yotei, for every new weapon type, they basically have this person who is very good at games, yeah, show you cool moves you can do. I do think they're playing on the lethal difficulty that was confirmed for the game, and that means that you die very fast, but enemies too. And that's what we're seeing, because enemies have no chance to react at all. But yeah, I think we start with a very interesting thing. We don't have the HUD here, but she grabs a small pistol. We know that that's basically one of the new tools that she has. And yeah, it seems to be able to one-shot enemies. But I think the amount of ammo you have for this is way lower than for the bigger rifle that we will see in action here too. Very cool that the smoke stays with you. It kind of reminds me of Infamous Second Son. I think it had effects like this as well. But it's just a fun little effect that we have here. Of course we can... That's like a brutal assassination. So this seems to be a pro move. You can basically slow down time and you use that to reload the weapon. And then bam. Because you would think that you can also use this sort of bullet time to quickly shoot. But yeah, it's an older gun. Just like in Assassin's Creed Shadows, you need to reload it. Another cool thing is that you can seemingly... And we've seen that before. I'm not sure if you can really use the weapon from enemies. But you can pick them up and then throw them. to the enemy. And again, oh wow, we have the wolf there. Oh, I did not never see that. So I think this is like a random thing. We just talked about the wolf, but basically this wolf is now joining you in your encounter here in this camp. But yeah, you have to be lucky that that the wolf shows up. Maybe it is also that, okay, maybe you die and then you go back to your previous checkpoint, then you do the camp, and then the wolf is not there. I would argue that that's probably how it's gonna work, and then in this case you got lucky. Unless you have like a lot of skill points in the wolf skill tree, then the wolf will show up more. But yeah, that's basically a free kill, and it looks pretty brutal there. I did not see that before. The enemies are very scared though. I'm curious if like the fear system is back. Look at the blood. That's insane. And the cool move on, like, that's the katana from the enemy. Again, she has her own katanas. But hey, let's use that, throw it in the air, and then yeah, we can immediately use it to take care of this enemy. They have no chance. Then we use the bullet time sort of effect again to reload the weapon. It's still pretty long. I really think that the reloading of this gun is gonna be pretty long without that effect. And then we of course shoot the enemy over there. I think we have the wolf here as well, which kind of funny. Not sure what he's doing over there. Again, I really think this lethal difficulty, like 2 hits with these fast weapons that likely don't have a lot of damage. Yeah, that is totally the lethal difficulty. I think we got another enemy. The first enemy is actually willing to fight. And yeah, this seems like a sick combo you can do. That seemed like an ability that she was doing. For spirit, of course, we don't have focus in this game. We have spirit. And then, boom. Love the sheeting animation for that. Pretty awesome. So I've not watched this one yet. They also put up the Yari gameplay. So this is for the spear, obviously. So on a bridge. Okay, you can like charge. That's awesome. Throw enemies against each other, I would imagine. Again, totally lethal difficulty with how fast these enemies die. But you must be able to throw them off the bridge too. Yeah, boom. Yoo-hoo. That is pretty awesome as well. And of course, sheeting animation. And then she continues. Like, let me know if you're gonna play the game on lethal difficulty from the start. I might try it. But I also, for like videos, I want to just play on normal, because then if people have questions or like, oh, this boss fight was really easy or hard, I can relate because I'm playing on the same difficulty. But I do think that lethal difficulty is really rewarding if you are a skilled player, because you can breeze through the game, but you also die very quickly. It's kind of how I play Shadows now. I have like a build where I deal a lot of damage, but but I only have 25% of the max health bar. So basically on the Nightmare difficulty, 2 hits and I'm down. But yeah, that should be the case in Yote too. And we of course got the Kusarigama gameplay that I actually already talked about. I don't want to, yeah, look at it too much. But yeah, it's cool that we have the sort of snowy area too, where we fight these shinobis. The only thing I'm like kind of worried about with this weapon is the sort of stealth animation, because we just had that and it's basically the same here. So you grab, pull, and nuke, and it's the same. There's like no. So if you like do that a lot in a camp, I mean for Shadows it's the same too, but now it jumps to the target instead of yeah, pulling them towards you. But yeah, like this weapon on the lethal difficulty is could be really OP, because yeah, you can just swing it around and then hit multiple enemies, and if they die from a few hits, you attack them from afar and you can kill them very quickly. So this might be the best weapon on lethal. That's what I'm kind of predicting here. Okay, let's look at some other information. They of course want to sell you stuff as well. So yeah, they're gonna sell you some of the bundles. Okay, so they actually have a limited edition console as well, the gold limited edition bundle, and the DualSense controller. Whoa, that's a lot of money, 85. I'm not sure if that's the increased price that I'm just not familiar with, but that's a lot. And you get like basically for the black one as well. But I love the fact with PlayStation, of course. Did they make like a video for these? I think they already, yeah, this was from the State of Play, right? Yeah. I love the gold one. I'm not so certain about the black one. This is pretty dope though, this back. But of course, the nice part about the PS5, okay, the black one looks kind of cool too. I'm not sure about the controller. It looks kind of, yeah, if someone brought it to an art class or something and then, yeah, was not very careful with it at all. This is actually the map probably, which is awesome. That is a nice detail. But yeah, you can of course buy the faceplates too, I would imagine. As you can see here, yeah, the faceplates. Even for the Pro. They really have a lot of stuff. But yeah, check that out. October 2nd, of course. When I'm able to discuss more about the game, we will of course do a main channel video, or we'll do a quick one right here. But yeah, I can't wait. This is totally my most anticipated game for the rest of the year. October 2nd is here before you know it. And hopefully I'm able to give you a review before launch, obviously. So that will be spoiler free, and that will answer your questions. If you have questions for a potential review that I will do, let me know. And of course, when I can share more about the game, I will let you know. So be sure you subscribe, and I will speak to you soon. Goodbye. Sunny Legend worked at Gorilla, yeah. For sure. Yeah, 2025 was the year of AA and great retro re-releases, at least for me so far. Yeah, Mick Motorhead. Did you ever talk about the news of 007? Yeah, I did, Commander Jane Shepard. I did. Earlier in the stream. Cool, we'll watch the... Yeah, it was just a small one. We are gonna live react to it. For sure. Ciao. Wait, I got tricked. What? No, sorry. Yeah, I'm recording videos, so that's why I'm saying goodbye. But I might fix that. But yeah, if you join these streams often, then you kind of know that. Yeah, we're not really. I'm not really saying goodbye. I'm not really. Okay, let's do another topic. The final one, and this is regarding the PlayStation 6. I'm gonna get my doc in order here as well, because I actually wrote some stuff down that I don't want to forget. And then I will catch up with you before the end of the stream. So, of course, maybe you saw the Sunday video. There we discussed the information already. And I'm gonna, yeah, go a bit more in depth on my thoughts regarding the PlayStation 6 and what it entails. And I think, in particular, the... what Moore's Law's dad is saying, who's reporting on this leaked info, is the goal of Sony. I think it's very, very interesting. So let's see how I'm gonna tackle this one. We're gonna look at the price. We're gonna look at... We got a comment for that. Some people... Yeah, that's beneficial. That seems to be the case. And then we got the handheld, of course, as well. Above performance, backwards compatible. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm ready. Let's do it. It's kind of crazy to talk about the PlayStation 6 already, but it's coming. We got pretty substantial new leaks that I want to go over. 2027 seems to be the release year. Yes, really. And we can look at the prices as well. It's very interesting. Sony has a very particular goal with the PlayStation 6 too. And there's a handheld that can seemingly run PlayStation 6 games, PS5 games as well. So let's go over everything. Of course, I'm really curious to hear your thoughts in the comments down below as well. I first want to shout out Moore's Law is Dead for reporting on this information. I will leave a link to his video in the video description. As you can see, he goes very in depth on the technical aspects. I'm not really a technical type of person, but I watched the video and looked at all the sort of highlights that I think are worth discussing more as a sort of goal from Sony, what the price will be. Because if we look at one of the files that was shared basically here, let's see, maybe if I move my head a bit to here, we can better look at it. But basically, Moore's Law is Dead made an estimation of the what these consoles can cost, looking at the parts that they are using. And then you already see a very interesting type of thing. For one, there seem to be 3 PlayStation 6 consoles in the works. One of them is a handheld, one of them is a PlayStation 6S, similar to the Series S from Xbox, and one is the Orion codename, basically the actual console. So what is interesting looking at this already is that it looks to be that even though these systems are going to be more powerful, thanks to the technical advancements that we're making, Sony can make these products for way less money. And that is also an incentive for them to release this maybe sooner than we are all ready for it. Like, it feels like the PS5 generation, it still needs a couple of years, like 3 years at least, with some really big games where I'm like, whoa. Like that Witcher demo, for example, that was the first time where I was like, and we know that that's not even real, it's like a tech demo. But if a game releases on the PS5 that looks like that, I was like, okay, we're hitting. I think GTA 6 will of course be that moment for this generation, but I hope there are more. And it does feel like the PS4 had more of these moments. But yeah, we still have 2 years, according to Moore's Law, that these systems seem to be going into manufacturing mode mid-2027 and then release at the end of the year. But yeah, let's start with the PlayStation. Or another like interesting thing regarding this. So this all the prices. Okay, let's just go over the prices first. So an interesting thing regarding this is the prices. Let's go over those first. As you can see, again, they seem to cost way less than the PS5 cost right now, and yeah, there is a good reason for that. They are not including a disk drive here, which seems to be $25 for Sony to put in. We, of course, have seen that with the PS5 Pro already, where Sony is like, okay, if we can put this system on the market for this price without a disk drive, you can buy the disk drive later. And it's only in Sony's benefit that the game or the console doesn't have a disk drive, because then the only way you can buy games for the system is through their own PlayStation Store, where they get a ton of the money and do not have to share it with any of the retailers that, of course, are selling games as well. But it does seem that the PlayStation 6 will probably still have the external disk drive you can buy, but probably none of the systems will have a disk drive as like a built-in option. I had a comment under the Sunday video. Of course, every week we post a weekly news roundup. I will also look at the comments there, insert them in these videos if they are interesting. No disk drive is wild. Massive backlash if they decide this. Again, I think it will happen, but I think they will still have the option. They really have to make enough of them, though, because that was mostly the issue with the disk drive we had for the other PS5. But for the PS5 Pro in particular, where they raised price and you could not buy them, etc. But yeah, they were testing the waters. We don't hear anyone like talk about it. Every year, more and more games are getting bought digitally, less and less games physically. So it's like only a matter of time. And yeah, again, it's in Sony's best interest to kill the physical market, or at least reduce it significantly. So you might be like, hey, why a PlayStation 6S? Well, the PlayStation 5, that could be the PS6S, right? Well, again, it really seems that this new console might even be a bit more powerful than the PlayStation 5, but cheaper to make. And they can then also sell it for a way lower price. And the reason for that, and that was the goal that I've been alluding to earlier in this video, is that there's a problem right now going on. And that is that, okay, so here in June 2025, Sony confirms PS5 has more monthly active users than PS4 for the first time. We're in year 5 of the PlayStation 5, and only in June, so 4.5 years after the PS5 has released, there were more monthly active users on PS5 than PS4. Why this is crazy is that the most hardcore people that play games usually upgrade. So obviously they will also be playing more because, yeah, they are more engaged, so they also upgrade. This generation, that has not been the case. People are totally fine with their PS4s, and of course all the live service games that are still getting supported for those systems, Call of Duty, the sports games, that is like a lot of the games that are being played on these platforms. They are still supported on the old platform. So all these people, they are looking at the PS5, it's only getting like going up in price. $500-$600 for a new system that plays the same games that I'm already playing and that I can still buy. They don't see a reason for it. And that is a big problem for Sony for multiple reasons. So here's what we see. 124 monthly active users they had. And yeah, PS5 is overtaking it now. But it's still, if you like do the math, 50 million monthly active users are on PS4. That is wild. And what they are seeing here is that people on PS5 are actually buying more. This is what the average user on PlayStation 5 is spending, and this is what the average user on PS4 is spending in the same point in the generation. So they're also seeing that if we are able to have them jump to the new hardware, they're likely going to spend more as well. Plus, and that's of course the major thing in general with this, finally, next year it seems that many live service developers are ending support for PS4. In previous generations, support would end, like we didn't really have a lot of these live service games, of course, but we would not have PS4 versions of these games 5 years into the generation. It's crazy. But they are looking at the numbers, all these games, and are like, 20% of the audience is on these consoles. Maybe it's even more. If we stop support, we're missing out on a lot of money. But at one point they have to, because, we hear, especially awful on the slow hard drive that shipped in the PS4. The SSD is, of course, the biggest advancement from the PS4 to PS5, especially for the open world games or the big multiplayer games. It's really, really important to render things way faster, etc. And to have to work on the PS4 hardware, it sucks. So it seems that Sony's goal is, with the PlayStation 6, to move people to the new generation. And a big way to do that is to have a low price. And that seems to be why there's a PlayStation 6S. So, of course, it can still be that it's not happening, it's still a rumor, but basically, Moore's Law's Dad has a lot of documentations where they are saying that moving people over from the PS4 to the next generation is one of the most important things. And maybe they're hearing that from developers as well, like also with the PS5, like with every Sony console, of course, from the PS3 to PS4. PS3 had the cell processor. People did not like that. So for the PS4, they made something that was more reminiscent of a PC. PS5 was even easier to develop for, etc., etc. PlayStation 6, they're likely hearing feedback, find a way to have people upgrade from PS4 to your next platform, because then we're all aligned. Then, sure, maybe the fidelity, maybe those games are still going to be 30 FPS on the PlayStation 6, maybe it's still going to be 1080p, but at least we have the better SSD, we have the better system, software, whatever, and we don't have to worry about the PS4 anymore, the 2013 console. So that seems to be, and I think that's very interesting, one reason why they're doing a smaller system that could cost as low as $250, probably not, but $400, $350 I think would be sick. If it's gonna be cheap, like what if the PlayStation 6S is cheaper than the PlayStation 5? Moore's Law's Dad has said that after the PlayStation 6 has come out, there's no reason for Sony to make PS5s again, because they are harder or like more expensive to manufacture, and the PS6 is a bit better. Like we will talk about the bigger PS6, of course, as well. So that is the Orion console, the one over here. This is gonna be probably, could be the same price as the PS5 Pro. Will of course be way better, but this is gonna be your high-end, your real next-gen machine. They seem to be aiming for 124K, FPS 4K. I really think, and that's what we're probably going to see with this the next generation as well. At one point, we've kind of reached the point where what is, like, in terms of technical leaps, what else can we do? We now also have AI that with way less can create frame boost, can create resolution boost. So that means that actually the tech inside the machine doesn't have to be as strong anymore, because you can use tricks like AI to beef that up. PS5 Pro, of course, has some of these features. So it seems like they're kind of maybe not making a big technical leap, but really focusing on a lot of AI features. So maybe there will be some cool, like we learned about, maybe Sony is doing this sounds maybe corny, but like a chat bot who can share tips when playing. Like maybe they will look more at software things that will make the PS6 feel like a new console instead of it being technical things. So then they can also sell the product for less. Because do we really need more than 4K 120 FPS? I mean, people now do have a 4K screen, but not everyone can do 120 FPS. 8K is not really a thing. Do we need more than 120 FPS? Probably not. So we're hitting a ceiling, and yeah, I do think that could be beneficial to make the next generation a bit more appealing, or like broader accessible for people who right now with the PS5 generation are like $550, $600 for a console. I don't know. Another wrinkle to this is, of course, the handheld. And of course, Sony has already, like, there are multiple things that of course have happened in the last few years. The PlayStation Portal has been a thing that has done way better than Sony anticipated. And of course, we have the Switch 2 coming out. We have Steam Deck doing well. The ROG Ally, Xbox, of course, coming with their iteration of that. So handhelds have been way more popular. And Sony was there really, really early with a handheld type machine. But they've kind of, given up on the FIDA mantra and are now, seemingly returning. But one of the big things that the rumored PlayStation 6 handheld is gonna do different this time is it's able to play PS4, PlayStation 5 games, and even PS6 games, but like at a very low setting. So 30 FPS probably, maybe the PlayStation 6S settings. So that way they don't have to make exclusive content for the machine. That was why, one of the big reasons, I mean the memory cards of course, but also, that was one of the big reasons why the FIDA failed. Sony had to go to companies and be like, you're not making a PlayStation 4 game. No, instead, you're making a FIDA game, or even a PS3 game, it was, right? So, it was like completely, it did not work. Sony never really works with sporting two systems at the same time. We saw that with PSVR as well. PSVR 2, they only had one studio make an exclusive Horizon game. They did not even bother with other things, because, why not have them make PlayStation 5 games? That's way more lucrative. Now they can make those console games that then also work on the handheld. So I think that's exciting. So these games are going to be played natively instead of being streaming. And also here, Moore's Law's Dead is really, really, ballsy basically on the price. He says that they want to compete with Switch 2. Switch 2 is $450, so maybe they're going to be like $500. He also said that a lot of the times, or in the documentation, a lot of notes are like, we have to keep the cost low for the handheld, blah, blah, blah. They are seemingly using new tech. Again, I'm not really a technical person. I think it's very interesting that the Portal is $200, and then they are launching a few years later a native machine that can run these games natively for only $300 more. But I think the PS Portal is probably priced way too high for what it actually does. But I still like the machine, but it's quite expensive, of course. Basically, in general, it seems that Sony is taking a different strategy for the PlayStation 6, and I think that that's very interesting. So, Sony is making the most money from people playing in their walled garden. People playing, spending time on the PlayStation Store, buying games. That is how they make the most money. So it makes sense in multiple ways. They've really been talking about, we want to increase the engagement on our platform, because more engagement means more money you spend there. And the Portal is one way to do it. Like, of course, like the ad I just showed, it's, someone wants to use the TV. Normally it would be like, then I cannot play my PlayStation. And now it's like, hey, I can play on the Portal. And with the PlayStation 6S, they want to get the people from PS4 over to PS6, hopefully with like a good deal for them. And they then see, when people are on a new platform, they will likely spend more. Developers are happy because they can just support a newer version instead of the PS4. With the handheld, people can take their games everywhere. So there is no excuse to not play PlayStation because you're not able to, and they can still have a PS6 home console with all the bells and whistles we expect. But because of new tech, it seems to be, of course, more capable than the PS5 Pro, but less pricey. And I think having the barrier to entry low is going to be very important because they want you playing on their systems. It's like buying a printer. You buy the printer, it's pretty cheap, but then you pay for all the peripherals for the ink to basically get your papers printed out. It seems like Sony is looking at that as well. And again, I think the next generational leap might not be that big, but maybe with other software solutions or whatever, they're still making it exciting. But I think it's cool if more people, if we're all aligned on one platform. I do worry though with all these PS6s, PS6 handheld, and PS6 home console that we're not gonna get those oh my god games anymore because they have to run on all these other platforms. And I'm sure this means that the PS5 will be supported for a very long time as well. But again, if you can get a PlayStation 6S that is cheaper than a PS5, why not immediately jump to the PS6S? It's fascinating. Hope you, I hope it all made sense. Of course, if you have questions or something, I want to hear your thoughts again as well in the comments, or if you're watching live in the chat right now, let's discuss it. But yeah, that was my kind of breakdown of the leak. Again, it's a leak. Take it with a grain of salt. I gave it 2 stars in the Sunday video where I was like, not so sure, but Moore's Law's Dead has been right before. And I think at least the handheld part is gonna be true. It seems to be docked as well, touchscreen. And I'm excited. I would buy it. I'm playing a lot of my RGLA right now. Playing Shadows on that feels surreal. Playing Shadows on a handheld feels surreal. So yeah, that's my final note on that. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, and I will speak to you soon. Goodbye. Okay, let's see what everyone is saying here. My biggest issue this gen is I've gotten stick drift. Oh, that sucks, Pepsi Cola. That sucks. I did not have that issue. I think I had it on one controller, but then I switched to the Edge, and it's been great. So there's a Series S equivalent of the PS6. That is amazing for us brokies. Again, if they are able to make it work. But yeah, I think the PS6S is probably going to be just a cheaper. It's going to be a PS5 with the PS6 UI. You feel better, but it's going to be probably able to run PS5 games. But maybe it has some of the AI technology to help it push beyond that. PS5 too expensive for me, so I chose PC, Steam this generation. Yeah, I totally get that. So I really think Sony going to make the PS6 more approachable or more easier to get into, cheaper. That only makes sense for them. They want you to play on their system, and making the barrier to entry right now so high, $550, I don't think that's helping them. Commander Jane Shepard, do you think Ubisoft will reveal more info about Splinter Cell Remake or AC Hexe this year after the Shadows DLC or maybe next year? So I think right now they're going to focus on the Shadows DLC. Of course, they have the Mirage DLC as well. They got Anno coming in November. Maybe during a State of Play, they will have the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake. I think they will focus on that first. Game Awards might be Black Flag, or they will do an own event in January, February, and then launch it very quickly after that. And then they will wait till May when we get either Ghost Recon, Assassin's Creed Hexe, or Far Cry, or the Splinter Cell remake. I think Splinter Cell remake, they will likely save that for their Ubisoft Forward. I think they will do a Ubisoft Forward again next year, and they will have a lot of big games. But I think Ghost Recon, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed Hexe, one of those 3 will not be during the summer, I think. It's probably going to be Far Cry or Ghost Recon, and one of the 2. Hexe, I think, will totally happen. But no, it's going to be huge next year for Ubisoft. PS6 games day 1 on PC. Well, nah. Not day 1, but they do seem to launch way quicker on a PC for sure. I got 2 kids still playing on PS4, and I got the PS5. If they make the price for the PS5 cheaper, I buy 3 of them. Yeah, I think, again, they might be onto something with that. But it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. Hey, Matt. Good to see you. Still play my PS4 more outside of the PS5 exclusive game. I like the PS5 library. Do you like play the PS5, like PS4 games on PS5? Or do you play the, or do you really play on your PS4? I cannot imagine playing on PS4. I don't have patience for the 1 minute load time for every sequence. Alex, I will check it out, the leaked Battle Royale stuff. That's interesting for sure. But I will probably not show it on stream here. Yeah, it looks like a Battle Royale, alright. Oh, they have a hammer though, that's awesome. So they have a hammer that lets you break stuff. I'm really curious to see how Battlefield will do, but I think it's gonna be the best-selling game of the year. I made that prediction. If you make a prediction, when do you think Insomniac will announce new stuff? I think it's gonna be very hard. I think they will skip this year, and at the end of next year, they will have Wolverine somewhere. I think Venom is not happening anymore. Even though it's sad. I know. But I think they are going to put all that stuff in Spider-Man 3, make it more beefy, because that was one of my critiques with Spider-Man 2. It was too small for the long wait we had. If they can make Spider-Man 3 really feel like an epic, whoa, there's like 30 hours of content instead of 20, I would be down for that. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you had a great time. I, of course, totally did. I'll be back next week. We will have a lot to talk about next week. Next week around this time, there will be the patch notes drop for Shadows. So it will be fun to go over those. Make a video, of course, on that as well. Next week, we will have a lot of fun stuff. This week, too, we will do the react to the 007 stream on Wednesday. I will make a countdown time for that. So you can set your clock to that. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. September is going to be huge. October is going to be huge as well. November and December, less so, I think. Maybe that changes. We will see. But yeah, thanks everyone.